What makes this year's city election stand out from its predecessors is the gain for women of color, who make up almost half the city council. With some thoughts on the results and the changing chemistry in the city's political leadership is political consultant Joyce Ferriabough-Bolling. Thank you very much for being with us, Joyce.
Thanks, Chris, always.
First of all, talk about this, when you add up the sum of the changes here. Kim Janey in Roxbury, and you got Lydia Edwards in District 1, East Boston, Charlestown, North End. And just the way that 6 versus 7 on the council now, it's a whole new chemistry.
Well, it's not just a whole new chemistry, but there's a whole new hope for some substantive changes. Not that the city council before them wasn't, but it's a fresh perspective, fresh ideas. And these are advocates. These women are advocates, so they are well known, well respected. And so I think that there'll be a substantial change. Then they, go on the council with Ayanna Pressley, who was the first woman who kind of broke the barrier for all others to have the, strength and commitment to run. And in fact, Kim Janey gave her, when she called Kim, she said, listen, I want to thank you, because, sometimes women need a little more fortification than most to run. I mean, I spent 5 years getting Ayanna to run, and I probably spent as much trying to get Kim to run, because, with all due respect to advocacy, which we really need, we need it transformed into legislation that'll make a difference, that'll change the way things have been.
Well, talk about what the two new faces bring to the council. I mean, you have Lydia Edwards and you have Kim Janey. They're both African-American women, but after that, there are differences in the issues they worked on and where they come from. I mean, Kim Janey's, deep roots in Roxbury, and Lydia Edwards is a transplant from another state.
Well, let me say this. So I really feel strongly that Lydia Edwards, with her work with the immigrant community and now with the immigrant community being, severely, under conditions that are just horrible, that she brings that kind of advocacy that goes out beyond her African American roots to other people who have not, who have been treated unfairly, and she's a force of nature. And Kim, as you know, Kim has done maybe 20 years of education advocacy for, the most vulnerable in the system, special needs children, children where English is not their first language. And so she'll be a boost, no doubt, to the educational apparatus that we have now. And I think that the mayor would find her to be a great advocate in boosting, some of the school system into, a more supportive stance for all children.
We're talking with political consultant Joyce Ferriabough-Bolling. Joyce, what about the mayor's maybe limited involvement in these city council races? In District 1, he was on a mailer with the candidate who came in second, Stephen Passacantilli. He said it wasn't an endorsement, but he says, I'm with him and I had authorized this to go around. So, I mean, did you see the mayor as putting much into this race and having much of an effect?
Well, let me just say that, I find the mayor to be an intensely loyal person, and I think he helped Steve through recovery, and he's very supportive in that way. But and I heard that he had made a robocall, like a week or so before the campaign. But to be honest with you, with all due respect to the mayor, who I supported, I don't think that anything could have stopped the juggernaut that was Lydia Edwards. Coattails, not withholding.
That's right. Well, of course, even last night at the mayor's victory celebration, 3 of the elected officials who were ushering him in, they were women. I mean, you couldn't not notice that.
Well, I'm just going to say that it is the year of the woman. I think that, in these past few months with the Weinstein and the Spacey stuff, I think women, were appalled at the State House. just the conditions around sexual harassment and what women have to do just to do their jobs, sexualized objects and so forth. I think that people were appalled, and I think that that might be one of the reasons for the big bump for women all across. I mean, I understand that Denise Simmons, who is, their elected mayor in a different way, inside game, she came in first for the first time. Now, this is a woman who's been mayor twice and had to deal with two serious calamities. One, with the president and the beard thing with Henry Louis Gates, and the second one was the big fire. So she's been tested by metal, sort of into her run. She sent me a couple of pictures that people had used without her permission standing beside her. And I said, well, you are the mayor. She came in first for the first time and had 300 votes to share. And there were also two other women, immigrant women, in Cambridge added to the council. Not a majority, but clearly a block that can be. And we've got, Ruth Ellen Fuller in Newton, first woman. Yvonne Spicer, I don't want to forget about her, my sweetheart. Oh my God. I mean, we watched as her opponent tore up her signs on camera. Okay, we didn't think it was looking at. That the community looked past her color and saw her excellence says something about Massachusetts as a whole. And she is going to be a fabulous, fabulous mayor.
Well, one thing that's not unusual about this election was that we have an incumbent mayor who got reelected, and it wasn't close. But one thing that I guess is disturbing is if you look at the turnout, even compared to previous elections when they had the same scenario, we have fewer people who came out to vote.
I know. I heard someone on TV recently say that not many people came out in 2013. That's just not true. More people came out in 2013.
Pretty good numbers that year.
Absolutely, because you had an open race and people were, more compelled to come out. But Chris, we've got to do something about, the lack of civic pride, so to speak. Our young people aren't coming out. The political climate is so awful. People are saying, why should I? More than they're saying, let's vote. There are messages that people are trying to put together for the Get Out the Vote effort that don't touch it. I mean, you can't go back and say our civil rights icons died for your right to vote. These are young people who don't remember it, haven't experienced. And when you also send out flyers that have the young men who were killed by police, what does that say to you? That says, see, I'm not going to vote for you because you're not paying attention that the police officers who did this are getting off. So we got to find another way to connect the importance of voting. I think that I was very happy in Virginia, I think in New Jersey. We had Democrats win, including, the Republican basically didn't reach out to Trump. And Trump, of course, he's the Twitter in chief. So he says, well, the reason why you lost is because you didn't, reach out to me. I think that, changing the spirit, draining the swampland of both parties is going to be a real foundation for us to change how people feel about politics, because right now politics has a really dirty name.
But finally, do you think there's anything that Tito Jackson could have done differently that would have led to at least a better result, do you think?
Let me just say, I think that Marty did the work. When he came in, people were saying, well, he comes in behind a Menino who's been there 24 years. There's no way he's going to make a dent. And he did. He worked. I'm not going to say that there were gargantuan results. He saw things that weren't being dealt with. He took the racial conversation directly from under Tito. And began the conversations, and he has made some progress. Tito You know, people say, well, you know, it's a strong mayor, weak council, but I don't think that Tito coined his message. I think he basically, you know, sort of went after the mayor on, you know, criticizing him rather than putting out his own vision. And I think that that was it. I wish that Tito had taken the advice of a few people and run citywide city council, because we would have had an African-American majority on that body.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Joyce Ferriabough-Bolling.
Thank you for having me.